Okay, we should be live now, mate.
You know what that means?
Hey, guys. Let us know if you can hear us.
Oh. No dancing. There's a reason why. Can't help it, though.
No dancing, mate.
It's a good effort. It's a good effort. I have no idea why your wife calls you a dad dancer. I have no idea.
No, exactly. I'm a professional dancer. Everything I do is professional.
Wow. It's not far off, mate. It's not far off.
There you go.
Yes. We have our first boo-boo. Nicholas, good shout, my friend. How are you? Claire, thank you.
Guys?
Thank you for signing in, Claire. Lorian's in the house.
Thank you, Slavomir. I appreciate that, mate. I appreciate that.
Joanna.
He didn't say that about you, mate. He didn't say that about you. He said that about me.
Oh, Gav moves.
No, great moves. He appreciates good dancing.
He must be really bad then. Oh, actually, that was a judgment. I'm sorry. You're good in your own way. You're good in your own way if you think Andy's good at dancing. Villius, you're the winner this week. First comment on the board.
Do you know what? I think that's done by design, mate. He's smart. He's just thought, well, I'm going to use a 2-letter word and win this competition.
Don't give away all his tips. That was probably very well thought out, and you've just blown the whole strategy now.
I have. Everyone else, like, evening, guys. You know, hello. Hi. Boom. That's how you win the game.
This is true. This is true. Good evening, James. Hi, Tony. Adam, good to see you, my friend.
Oh, a fellow Australian. I'm counting you as an Australian now, Gav.
Done.
Do you know what? Adam gives great tips.
Okay.
That's what I've learned about Adam.
Just in trading, hopefully not dancing.
He likes to tip. Last time when he bought the program, he gave us a very handsome tip.
Oh, that was amazing, wasn't it?
It was very generous, I thought.
Yeah, I haven't spent any of that yet.
No,
I guess we gave.
He said it was for your hair.
He ended up buying 2 of the crypto program, which we thought was just a very generous tip for our time.
I thought, well, that's very interesting from Adam. And then he said, oh, it's for Gavin's hair, to buy some hair products.
Which I don't need that much of. The beach is just there, so I just use natural hairspray, baby, or natural sea salt, should I say, and a little bit of. There is a little bit of I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not even going to try. It's like this little powder, and you just puff it in. None's in today.
Put in the hair. Mate, I had a friend. I wouldn't be surprised if he still does it. He used to put olive oil and lemon in his hair. That's how he styled it. Apparently, it was very good for it. He still has all of his hair, to be fair to him. So I can't exactly go back to him and say it didn't work because
it must be the olive oil then. Yeah, that's what it is.
No, he was really big on lemon, I must say.
That lemon's to make it lighter, isn't it, in the sun?
I don't know, but that's what he used to put to style it.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'm going to be doing an Andy Demi. I've got my.
Only Andy Demi can do an Andy Demi.
Well, no, there's quite a few people this week doing an Andy Demi. We'll have to call it that.
That's true. That is very true.
Making moolah in the cryptos. Guys, if you haven't done cryptos, don't do it. Get out while you can, because he didn't say that this should come, and I'm going to say it. This program should come with a public health warning. You're not going to sleep. It's like you've entered the labyrinth of a whole nother world, and it's going to test you. It's going to pull on all your emotions. But my gosh, when you can learn to tame the beast and ride the beast, yes.
Well, Nick's asking about my glasses. Well, I had a very hard night last night, and the kids were up.
Oh, really?
And then
you went out partying. That's what hard night means,
really?
Right?
I was that's why I've got my dance moves still there. still from last night. It's just the
Those
vibe
shoulders
still
look good, mate.
continue. Huh?
Those shoulders look pretty good.
The little bit of UK garage. Yeah, for some reason well, it's actually super windy in London. Really windy, and
I've heard
we had the neighbour's tree basically banging on. It was come over. I had to go cut it today because it was like banging on my daughter's window, and she couldn't sleep because of the noise, and the other one was waking up. So basically, they were both up all night. Had about 2 hours sleep. Same with my wife, and today I was exhausted, and then I also realised that I forgot to take my contacts out. So this morning I'm putting my contacts in. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I can't see properly, and then realised I had them in. So I had to put glasses on today just to relax the eyes. So
it looks good on you, man. It looks good on you.
I don't really like glasses, but sometimes we just have to go with it.
Nicholas has made a fair shout. Doesn't matter about your glasses. No one is worrying about that because the hair's not up to standard this evening. Nicholas has noticed. I apologize, guys. There is no product in this.
Adam, you need to get your money back, mate.
Has he not got his money back? Obviously, we were joking about that. We didn't really think that he'd given us that much of a tip. But tips are welcome. We'll put them into some cryptos.
We'll put a little virtual donation box.
Yeah, we'll split the profits with you.
Yeah, we accept Bitcoin.
I don't want Bitcoin. I'd rather put my money into something else.
Bitcoin will double.
Yeah, but there's other ones that are quadrupling, 10xing.
Yeah,
come on, mate.
True.
Just a double.
Well, yeah, true.
What is this? People, I think younger guys, they're going to be like, what? You used to be happy with 10% a year? A year?
This is
I've made that in 5 minutes, mate. Like these younger kids coming up that don't know about like all these other slow moving vehicles. But obviously, as you get more money and you want to diversify and obviously real estate and things like that, it then becomes about managing the wealth, which is a whole nother conversation. And we should that is going to be something that I know when people get to a certain level and then they start worrying about not losing the money and then how to make the money work for you. That is a conversation all of itself. That could probably take up a whole show. So we should do something like that because that would be very, very useful. But there'll be a time. There'll be a time for that.
So what are we doing today?
So we are going to be talking about losing trades, and when you go on a losing run. I think that's something that a lot of people, more people, unfortunately, in this group are going to be connecting with that side of things, possibly having that experience than the few which we're hoping to turn into the many that end up coming through and making a large chunk of wealth that they then say, right, I need to start diversifying this. I can't just keep it all in this vehicle of trading. So let's take it in steps, and we'll get to that part when we've helped enough people. But I think at the moment, losing trades, everybody's going to have experienced, right? Especially you as a professional trader. You're not immune to it.
What should I say, or especially me?
Well, you've been doing it as long as you have.
No, absolutely. I mean, when I see people kind of posting, they had a little bit of a tough time or they've done something wrong and they've lost some money. We saw that today without mentioning names. But the biggest thing is it's not what happens. The saying, right? It's not what happens, it's how you react to what happens. So what happens is going to happen. Being human, it's pretty normal that it's going to happen. But how do you react to that? And that's going to determine whether you're successful or not. So if you make a mistake, if you lose money, if you miss out on a trade that you should have taken, that's a negative experience. Negative experiences can be actually one of the most profitable experiences, as it was for me, because it can be something that you think, okay, well, this doesn't feel good. We're clear about that. I'm not going to BS myself and say that this is a, sometimes we sit there and we're like, oh, but it's a great lesson and this and that, and we're just kind of like trying to make ourselves feel better, but actually it sucks, right? We lost money, or we missed out on a trade, or we did something stupid and we feel horrible. And what I like to do in that moment is not react immediately. I like to just kind of, generally, my ideal response to something like that is just move away from the screen, shut it down, and go and do something positive. Go to the gym, do something that you want to do. And I like to listen to positive, motivational things. And then I start to get back into, okay, the sort of winning mentality. So it's like you get that start to get that determination again. Mm-hmm. And then you go back and you start fresh and you're like, okay, I'm going to fight. And I actually, if I can get to that space, I'm going to make way more money than what I've just missed out on or lost. If I can get to that space. If I can't, then that will continue that way. So if it lingers, and that's where you have to grow up, basically. And trading is not for wimps. It's like, you've got to be tough. Just saying it as it is. Like, you have to be tough and you have to just take it on the chin.
Side note, how many times have you called your daughter a wimp? I could just imagine that's a phrase that you...
Probably too many.
What? There's a tree banging on your window and you're scared. Don't be a wimp, darling.
Yeah, I am actually quite tough for a 4-year-old. Like, come on, sort it out. What monsters? There's no monsters around. What's wrong with you?
Okay, so look, thank you for sharing that. And that was a really good thing about how you're using even just music and audio as a tool to help get you back into that zone. But take us back to when early days, Andy Demi, like what were some of the things that you've experienced, like reaction wise and emotions and things like that? What, because you must have seen it and done it all and had to have come through a lot. I don't like, every time I go through a layer of releasing emotions, because look, let's face it, I'm going to say something that if you don't know this already, then it was going to be hard to hear, but you're going to thank me for it, I hope. If you're watching this or you're in the group and you haven't made money and you're not making money in your life, there's a reason for that. You're carrying around some beliefs either about yourself or some conditionings that you have to break out of, and trading is going to help you face that, but it's also going to make you face it. And that is a whole battle in and of itself. And the layers that we all have, I'm just coming through another round of it myself, and it freaking sucks. It freaking sucks to put the mirror on the bit of yourself that you just don't want to even acknowledge. So yeah, that's kind of like a serious moment. And it's kind of a serious topic, which is why we're not being as laughing and jokey, because we're hoping to make a difference with this broadcast. And whether you see this live or whether you see this on the replay, as we know many of you do, hello, by the way, if you're watching and you're new, put a comment in the comment section for us, please, because we like to see that we're reaching new people. We see so many people joining every week. We're also live on YouTube. So, Bashka, hello, I am from India and I want to get a funded account. That is a great goal. Great goal. How are you trading at the moment? How are your results? Because that's obviously going to determine how you get a funded account. But that's something we can talk about separately, and we can help you with that here as well, for sure, and also give you some advice. So going back to that question, because I know I went off on a couple of side notes there, but this is an important section for people to kind of start to make the change. And it's going to be a hard process. That was where I was going with this. The amount of respect I have for you to have got where you've gotten. You must have broken through so many barriers and layers that you didn't even know that you had. That must have been really confronting. That must have literally sucked. Must have been everything. Frustrating, scary, angry, whatever. You must have gone through the whole lot. And yeah, there's some serious respect that I've got for you there. Just before you answer that question, Facebook user, hi, I'm new from Great Yarmouth. I lived in Great Yarmouth for a summer. That seems like many, many lifetimes ago. I'm looking to seriously get into trading. You're in the right place. But first of all, we need you to do something else. Click on the link in the main body, StreamYard, and register so that we can see your photo and your name, and then we can give you a proper shout out, because we like to know who we're talking with in this group. So, right, without further ado, I'll go back to my question to you, mate. So,
yeah, I mean, this question's taken about 10 minutes, mate. I don't know what topic we're talking about. Sort it out, Gav. Come on, mate. You need a coffee, mate. Listen, you're telling me you don't drink coffee, but you need one. Clearly.
Well, I might need some sort of crypto, like less than 4 hours sleep.
Oh, come on. Somebody get the violin out.
Over a sustained period of time. But it's okay. Engine is doing well. These numbers are crazy. ROE on this trade, return on equity, 237.6%. That's a great number to see, isn't it? And I'm sure they put that in there just to make you feel a little bit better. But even that kind of catches on your ego, and you're like, no, I don't want to take that.
I'm still waiting for the question.
Okay. Just so that I haven't.
You know my disclaimer with you, right?
No, but I'm not sure right now, to be honest. I'm not sure of anything.
No, he looks tired. He doesn't do well. You need to go to my training camp, mate, to live off like less than 4 hours sleep.
No.
Yeah, me and Sab are setting up a training camp. Sab's not here at the moment, is he? I haven't seen him post.
Yeah, do you know where he is?
No, he's not sleeping, but he's been messaging me. He's been messaging in the group telling me the trades that he's taking, the money that he's making. So no, he's not asleep. That man doesn't. He's a lunatic like me.
Wow.
Anyway.
I mean, this is wait. This is another question of a sub question. Gavin doesn't drink coffee or beer. Should we trust him?
No, absolutely not, Adam. You shouldn't trust him.
Adam, if that's your barometer for whether you trust a human being, of whether if they don't drink coffee or beer.
Yeah, he just eats leaves all day. Lives on the beach.
Nothing wrong with that. That shouldn't be trusted.
No one said there was anything wrong with it. It's just maybe you're not so trustworthy.
Which in my book is a bit of an issue, but again, that's a judgment. So, okay, shall we get to answering this question?
Yeah, but also like Jake's put a good point in there.
I don't recognise that name. Welcome, Jake. Great photo, great name, all done and registered. You must be the chap from Great Yarmouth. Do you speak like that?
He's saying he's been using signals. I would stay away from those, Jake. Most of them don't work, and also, even if you find ones that might work, which is unlikely, if you don't understand why you're in a trade, it's very, 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 very unlikely you're going to stick with the trade. Because you don't trust it, you don't have the confidence and belief in it. So when it's going well, you're happy. When it's going bad, you won't stick with it. So you have to understand why you're in the trade. You have to know it's a high probability trade, and when you have the confidence and the faith in your trades, you're much, much more likely to stick with the trade plan. But anyway, yes, we've built this up a lot. What are we talking about?
We're talking about if someone doesn't drink coffee or beer, then they're not trustworthy. It's an Australian thing.
Let's actually give some real value to people, because they have given up their Thursday nights to be here.
Fair enough. Let's do it. So look, I know you would have, on a serious note, just to recap, in case if I've lost anyone else, then I apologize for that. Yeah, so we're talking about losing trades, and that was obviously in the video, the pre-show video that I set up. And it's an important topic. It is an important topic. If you haven't gone through it and you started trading, you will go through it at some phase, and it's about how many times you go through it and how much it affects you. But how much can you learn from it? And obviously this guy to my right or left, I can't remember which way it shows you out, but this way, this guy, 17-year trader, and he's not a total genius. He's a bit of a twisted genius these days, but you didn't start out this way. Just like, you're not a silver spoon kid. You didn't go to like Oxford or Cambridge. You're not, you're not just kind of, just been handed everything.
What you're trying to say, come out of the gutter is what you're trying to say.
Well, maybe not the gutter, but cardboard box, maybe.
Yeah.
And, you've got yourself to this level where you've got the dream car, you've got the dream house, you've got everything that you want financial wise. So you've had that. There has to be a level of respect for anybody that's come and they've done that, self-made, done that, and you've done that through trading. And obviously only been really into trading for a few months, being, taught by you and going through the program and things like that. It's like you are going to be forced to face parts of yourself that you didn't realize that were in you. And that can only be a great thing overall, but it's also very confronting. So at the beginning of this, you must know more than anyone else. Like, just when you first have a couple of grand in your account and you think it's all going great and you get caught up in things, only to then be faced with, holy crap, I've lost it, or holy crap, this feels rubbish. What's going on? Revenge trading, over emotion, ego, whatever it is. Like, was there one particular one when you first started that you would succumb to?
I think what the mistakes that people make depend on their personality. So if I could group them into two, I mean, you could definitely have much more subgroups, but if I could group them into two, you've got the traders that basically are extroverted and have a lot of confidence, and that can relate to over risking. It can kind of tie back to chasing markets, thinking you can fix it. So like, you're not going to get away from me, that kind of attitude. So like you have this kind of battle with it's you versus the market. And that's kind of like the alpha male type personality. And I guess that was me. And then you've got the introverts who have analysis paralysis, who actually don't take trades, and they don't necessarily blow up accounts, but they slowly lose their money because they're not brave to take trades, and then they just wimp in, and then I think your personality is really important, but to what kind of problems you might have as a trader. But that was my biggest thing. It's like, go on.
On that note, just to get some engagement, guys, type in whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. If you don't even know what personality type you are, trading is another extension of getting to know yourself. And if Andy was extroverted, I'm going to say that I surprised myself when I started doing this properly and researching about myself. I'm actually more introverted than extroverted. Now, there's a negative connotation on that sometimes. And I was like, I don't want to be an introvert. But actually, it's about understanding ourselves. And I am kind of both, but I'm more skewed towards introvert. And what's a way that you can tell that? Like, do you know a way in which you can tell whether you're introvert or extrovert?
I mean, I'm not an expert in that, but like, well, I mean, I guess like my sort of understanding of it was somebody who's more within, like they don't really tend to shout out what they're doing, and then others who do shout out what they're doing or don't really. I mean, it's not a good skill, it's not a good trait, but like I normally just say what's on I just say it as it is and what's on my mind, which is not always it doesn't always sit well with people. If I just say what's on my mind, I would just say it like without kind of really thinking too much about it. It's like, whereas I think I always thought of like an introvert as somebody who won't say it. They will just kind of think it and just be within themselves and just keep it inside them. So they might think something, but they won't actually come out and say, hey,
But see, that can, on that note, that can be done through social conditioning. So if your parents, for example, if you don't let your daughter speak her mind, or you punish her for speaking out and telling her no all the time, she might be really self-expressive, but because she's been conditioned a certain way through her upbringing, she doesn't know that she's got that expressive side. So it's interesting that we can't always determine that. And obviously, if someone's always shouting out, that's a sign of some other things as well. So we can't always take it for that. But the way that I've learned it, what was really interesting for me, and it's so true, introverts, if you're like, would you go to a party and talking to everybody and you could do it all night and that charges you up? Whereas if you're an introvert, this is a really good barometer. If you don't know this, this will help you understand this. And this is a good part of your psychology to learn about yourselves. What really caught me was actually, if you're someone that needs to be by yourself and to charge up, like you charge up like a mobile phone, like a flat battery, by getting away from the crowd. Like, I love to be in the crowd. I love to do this and talk to people, but actually I can find it draining sometimes, and I need to be by myself. I need to have my own space. And that's one of the key signs of an introvert. But would people assume that I'm an introvert just by the way I am? Not necessarily, because there's so many layers to this, but it's understanding who you are.
To be fair, Gavin, I actually like to have my own space. Definitely. That's something that I need, like having my own, which is why actually I think lockdown has been quite tough for me, because I don't have like an out. Like the out is like, okay, going for a run and going grabbing a coffee, but before we'd go to the office and we'd have a little chat and we'd have a little bit of banter, and you kind of get that space away from your general thing. But like also, having complete space on my own is great. But I don't know if I would have necessarily classed that as an introvert if you want space to yourself.
No, but how do you charge up? How would you charge up and get that energy? Some people.
Do you know what? I get energy from
people.
From people, yeah. Like I was saying,
more of an extrovert trait, and obviously, like you say, you can't categorize it, but one big indicator, if you like, it's like you can't just use MACD or stochastic or a super trend. You can't just use that. You have to have confluence of things, but that would be a good indicator for me about someone. If they're always around people and they get charged up from people's energy. And then you go into whole other things like, auditory, visual, kinesthetic, whether you're an empath or not, and you feel other people's energy and you're an introvert or an extrovert, that could be an interesting combination. So there's so many caveats to that. So I think it's interesting for people to explore that self-expression and self-exploration, guys. We're at the point where we have to release stuff that isn't us. It's not ours anymore. Maybe it's been passed on to us by society, family, friends. We need to get rid of that crap. We really do. And inspire other people to go for it. And that's why we want to, Andy especially wants to help as many people as possible. He could just sit on his money and have a totally easy life. Easy life.
But I think also it's like what you were saying as well. I actually get a massive, I get so much more than what I give, like from people's energy, and seeing results. I mean, this is great. I mean, to see results for people, seeing people make money, that gives me a buzz, like a genuine buzz. It's like and like honestly, like if you told me this morning, that's why I said to you, mate, I'm not going to be able to jump on the call. I had an appointment as well, but I was like a zombie. Like the whole night was completely messed up. But I had an appointment at the hospital that I needed to go to anyways. I had to get going and crack on. And I still on my screens this morning took a couple of trades that were good decisions, but I had to really, really focus this morning because I was like, so I found a good trade, a couple of good trades, took them, went to the hospital, came back, and I was like, okay, I've got 45 minutes before the Q&A session. I was like quite tired. And I thought, okay, I need to generate myself now. And I'll be honest, like, I was like a zombie, but as soon as I got on that Q&A session, the guys that were on it, they will tell you, they wouldn't have known. I was like charged up because I I don't know what it is. It's just an energy. Also, loving what you do is important. So, trading.
But even on that note, so many people they can't say that they do that.
What?
Loving what they do.
Loving what you do is a big thing. You don't necessarily love it from day one, but you have to kind of really like it for it to become a passion, because you love it when you get good at it, and like the more you do it, the better you become. You're like, wow, it's like magic, right? I mean, people keep using those words when we go through the charts and we analyze stuff. We're like, wow, it's like magic, but it is kind of magical in a way. But it's just a person who's dedicated their working life to mastering something because they love what they do.
And that's the key thing, is that if you do it, it's not something that is overtaking you and giving you that power. You've earned it. You've earned that right. If you've mastered something, whatever it is, dancing, painting, a pianist.
Thank you very much for acknowledging my dancing. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I wasn't quite referring to you though. I was kind of using you as a polar extreme of mastering some things and not other things. And we've all got something while we're here, guys. And do I believe that it's necessarily trading for me? I don't know. I don't know that, but it's about what's in front of you. If this is your journey and you're here, then that's probably a good sign that you could change your life here, or you can learn a ton about where you are in your life and let go of it. Trading will show that up like a really bright light. And Frosty makes a good point. You know, dinner lady, for example. How many professional traders to your level that have managed hedge funds, traded up some of the biggest trading floors in the world? They've made over $123,000 in one trade.
That's right.
How many of them can say, in the Hall of Fame of traders, okay, hands up if you've also been a dinner lady? You'll just be at the back going, no, actually, if you're an extrovert, you'll be like, yeah, me, I was
happy, mate.
Who else wasn't? You weren't a dinner lady, you wimp. You wimp.
No, do you know what? Like, is ladying a word? I'm kind of present to like this. I mean, even just the environment that we have created here for everybody to be here, and all these people can kind of connect. And obviously that's technology, but like, I'm really happy with because I think you need to have that environment to grow and to overcome challenges. So it's like, if I see but you have to also be open to one piece of advice I want to give people, actually, that's going to help. Might as well say something useful for the evening since they're here with us. Is
you saying we haven't so far? How rude.
I know, I'm very rude. What I notice is this: people mostly don't have the confidence. They don't have the confidence to take something on, to be challenged, or to ask questions, or the feeling of feeling stupid. And I noticed that sometimes in a lot of our programs, you have a few people that just take action. They start to get results, and then you have others that don't even ask a question. And if you're one of those people, you know if you are or not, and you're not sort of jumping in and being known, you've got to do it. You've got to step out of your comfort zone. If you can't do that, how are you going to tackle the markets? How are you going to deal with setback? So that's kind of my challenge. I will never call out names. Like I know people that I've got in my head, but I would never call out names, because it's not right to sort of call people out. But what I will say is, if you are, let's say, on whatever program, if you're on the crypto course or whatever, especially that one, because we're doing it live, if you haven't stepped out of your comfort zone, if you haven't sent a question, if you haven't unmuted to ask a question, to say something, to post an analysis, do it. Do it this week. Do it this weekend, and get started on that. Do a video, post a screenshot, write some stuff down, get involved in next week's Q&A. Take action and get out of your comfort zone. That would be my invitation. and it's scary.
I would also I would extend that invitation to anybody on the FX program as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I've said it to, and people did step up and did do some videos in the group. And, you know, and obviously it's about consistency. So, you know, success leaves clues. And if you see the people that are getting results, look at what they're doing. They're not sitting on the sidelines. So success leaves clues. So you've got to follow that roadmap and say, well, look, don't feel sorry for yourself. Keep, you know, and if you were doing it for a little while and then you stop, why? Why are you stopping? There's a block. So you have to carry on doing it. Like, don't do it once, do it consistently. Just get your name seen all the time in the group. Like, as somebody who's adding value, somebody who's growing, somebody people should be going to and aspiring to be. And if you become that person, and be careful with your language. Like, I'm not going to call out names, because if you resonate with this, you'll know if it's you or not. Like, sometimes I hear people post something, give some really great advice, and then immediately they kill themselves by saying, oh, but it might not be right, I'm just a beginner. Like, you know, and if you know something about something, say it with power and confidence. Be that the person that you want to be. You have to see it in your head and act like the person that you want to be. If you have the information to help somebody, share it with them. Don't give them bad advice, for sure, but you've got to be careful with your language. And that's something that I've learned really from a young age, but like, especially through Tony Robbins, which I did, you know, early on. Your language is so powerful. What you say about yourself, what you say to others about yourself, and then that also means how people see you as well is really important, because they'll respond to you as that person that you see yourself as. And that has a huge impact on your trading results. So everybody's kind of always worrying about strategy and indicators, but, you know, like, the things I'm telling you now is way more powerful than any indicators or any strategies. And that's why I'm getting people to post their results in the groups. I want people to feel like, actually, that person's only just started. How are they doing that? That person's only just started. How are they doing that? Because sometimes it's really easy to hide behind, oh, Andy's been doing it for 17 years. Of course he's going to be good at it. You'd have to be stupid, right? 17 years to do something, to not be able to trade. Whereas if you see beginners doing it, then you're like, oh, hold on a minute, I can't really use that as an excuse anymore. I have to raise my standards. Does that make sense, guys? Does it make sense?
Put a note in the comment section, guys, if that makes sense to you. And like we say, we're trying to give value from different angles. And this was an interesting one. I think we've been leading up to this where we've kind of run out of time before talking about limiting beliefs and stuff. So hopefully this has kind of gone back and tied off that loop. And yeah, I just want to put in just go through some of the comments as they come up as you've been speaking. I think, yeah, I mean, it does make sense what you're saying, for sure. And there are caveats to that. If someone's just because they have conviction, but they're just like faking it till they make it, you're going to get caught out. You're going to get caught out by yourself. So there is a difference to that if you're understanding, but everybody's on their own journey. So at the end of the day, who are we to say what's right and what's wrong? Dan, thanks for tuning in, mate. Behavioral economics is huge in trading. Loss aversion is always valuable to be aware of. So there's different categories to this game and psychology and being aware of and how that makes up your trading psychology. And I think for the newer guys that we've seen, that we've mentioned out here, if you're new and you want to, let us know that you're watching, but we know there's many new people that are watching. There's only a small amount that comment, but that's why I want to celebrate the ones that stepped out today. So Jake, Bashkar, for example, they're two that come off the top of my head that are new names that I haven't seen before. You stepped out of your comfort zone. But what we say and what Andy told me, which was huge, was, trading strategies, that's all over YouTube. It's what's sexy, but that only accounts for about 15% of your success as a trader. You think by learning the strategies is what it's all about, but actually there's so much more to it. So there's three main parts. The first part is strategies. That's the sexy part. That's the fun part. And we all get wrapped up in that for sure. It's exciting. It's fun.
Sorry to interrupt you. It's still very important, but it's not. It's like you were about to say. It's not. It's not the most important, right? Because you still need to understand how the market is structured. You still need to understand what makes a good probability trade. But there's a lot of people that can figure that out, but they don't win, right? And that's the point that you're trying to make.
That I was going to make. So
yeah, I just wanted to add, because people might say, oh, well, that means I could just trade anything. No, you still need to understand, how the markets work, for sure.
Yeah, and look, another new person. Always give you a shout unless I miss it because we're so engrossed in the conversation. Alex Lane, great photo. Thanks for commenting live. Because we know you're watching, we know you're out there, and I know it's very easy to not have to comment, but step outside of your comfort zone, take the opportunity like Alex has just done now. New to this group, however, agree with everything you're saying. He's probably talking to me, but psychology is where I struggle. However, growing better every day, 100% for sure. And well done for stepping out of your comfort zone on that. So as we were saying before, so trading strategies is 15% of your success makeup, if you like. So you definitely need to have strategies. Like Andy said, it's the tip of the spear. It's how you get into the market. It's how you execute. But actually, if you're not managing risk, then that's why 95% of players in this game blow up their accounts, and why they lose, and why most people have lost at least one account before they start doing things properly. You were going to say something again?
No, I was just going to say, if you're not managing risk, you're not managing emotions.
Well, so this is the next thing that it's almost like it's almost like you told me this, mate. You know what's coming next.
I probably did, mate.
You did. So psychology is 55. So 55% of your success potential as a trader, plain and simple, straight up, is down to psychology. And there's many caveats to that. And that's why we talk about a lot of psychology things. Yes, we're interested in it. Yes, it stimulates us, as it does for most people who want to use their mind and their brain to accomplish things like trading. 55% of your success potential as a trader. So you have 100% potential. Where are you at right now? Well, if you can understand and nail the parts of psychology that are going to help you, then that's 55%. So you're over halfway there to getting to your success potential, whatever that means. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a billionaire or a multimillionaire. It's your potential. What's your genetic cap? Where's your cap? But if you nail down psychology, then you're over halfway there. Risk management. When I asked Andy to put a number on it, because then it helps me to create a visualization for myself. Well, risk management, if you don't have control of your emotions and you don't control risk and you don't know what you're risking, then that's going to trigger your emotions. So then you're in a real fight between those two. Risk management is 35% of your success potential. So straight away, we're up to 85%. If I've done my numbers correct, maybe it's 25. Yeah, you get my point. So we're up to 85%. Yeah. Risk and psychology, two huge things. Then once you've got that grounding and that basis, then you go and use the strategies, and they're super, super powerful in a positive way. But if you don't have the other two things and you start with just strategies, that's only the small amount. Now, the small amount makes a difference. You speak to an Olympic sprinter, they win by milliseconds. To us, that's a tiny amount. But to a professional sprinter, if you can find a coach that will knock a couple of milliseconds off your running time, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. So there is a point where strategies totally come in. Yeah, and I'm passionate about psychology, and we've all got this. We've all got this in our wheelhouse. Facebook user, we're not going to answer your question unless you log in.
Yeah, what's your name, Facebook user?
Yeah. I'm an accountant. Can trading still be for me? Look, it doesn't matter whether you're a bin man, you work at KFC. Someone here yesterday, they called it
actually. It's a good
they
point.
called it the dirty bird. I've never heard it described like that before. We're eating the dirty bird. I think that's Adam. That's definitely an Australian thing too.
Obviously, very good for you. Organic chicken from KFC. Very healthy, isn't it?
Again, that's subjective. For somebody's body,
extremely healthy.
Look, if you've been homeless on the street, or you're stuck on a desert island, and someone gives you a KFC, you're going to be like, "Well, no, it's not organic."
I'm not saying I love KFC. I love KFC, to be honest with you, but that's kind of my. I don't have it very often because it's so bad for you, but I do like it. I'm not going to lie.
But so yeah, Facebook user, click in the link, StreamYard link, especially if you're new. But yeah, I'm an accountant. Can trading still be for me? So yeah, I think you get where I'm going with this. You can be working anywhere and doing anything. What would you say would be the main, rather than what they do? Because obviously you're intelligent with numbers, but sometimes that can hinder people, right? What would you say instead of what they do for a living? What would be some top things that would make a difference to whether they can do this or not?
Well, being an accountant doesn't necessarily, that doesn't. I mean, sometimes we can stereotype like what kind of personality you have, but a lot of people go into jobs because they think there's plenty of jobs around. It's not the most exciting job for you, but you can get a job easily. You can earn a decent salary once you're qualified. So I've got friends who have got like these crazy personalities that became accountants because, it's a needed skill. But in terms of like, what it is that you need to trade, firstly, you can build a strategy to fit around any personality. So if you're my type of personality, then you're going to be more like interested in sort of faster moves, quicker moves, getting in and out quicker, not holding positions for a long period of time. And if you're kind of somebody who is a little bit more slow paced, a bit more patient, let's say, you could have a strategy where you're holding positions for a little bit longer. Again, all properly done. And even like being a good investor, also almost like investing. Gaven, I've no idea what you're doing, but it's putting me off. You're going like...
engine. If anybody's in the crypto coin engine, it looks like it's just about to break through a key resistance level.
I knew it was doing something crazy.
I was trying to be subtle. Did I? Sorry if I.
Subtle, mate. Yeah. No, I mean I'm trying to help somebody here. No, I mean look. I don't know what your name is, but is it Ramesh? Were you the guy that said about the accountancy? But basically. Don't tell me anything, Ramesh.
Huh?
Don't tell me anything about KFC. I don't want to know.
You will hate KFC if you work in the kitchen. Fair show.
The point is that you've got to be comfortable with taking calculated risks. That's for sure. There's no, it's the same as setting up a business. It's the same like where you can do all the work, find a great opportunity, but that even having done all the great work, sometimes your trades are going to lose money, and that's kind of quite tricky for people to be able to understand and accept. That's part of the process. So like you've got to be willing to grow in that area to like say, well, I'm actually signing up for something where I know I'm going to lose at some point. You're going to lose at some point. But my question is like, how do you live life? Do you live life taking risks, or do you live life really comfortable? Do you always want to go to the same restaurant because they make the best chicken and you don't want to try anything else? Or do you think, I want to try some other things, like you take a risk? So like for me, it's like if you don't take risks in life, you're never going to grow. So I could never live that kind of life where I don't take risks. So I think you have to have a little bit of that. It doesn't have to be to my level or to others' levels, but you have to have a little bit of that where you're like, I'm okay with a little bit of uncertainty, which, by the way, is one of the things that Robbins always says, right? Uncertainty is actually something we need. I know he stole all of this stuff from Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but basically certainty and uncertainty, we need it to thrive. And trading gives you uncertainty for sure.
100%, as does most things. And that's a tough one. If you know you're going to get great food, there is a part of me that's like, well, why should you go anywhere else? Because you know you're going to love it every time. But then there's that, it is the thrill of the chase. It's that uncertainty. And that's why, I packed up all my stuff 3.5 years ago now, whatever it was, just lived out of a suitcase and traveled around. It was amazing. And, as I think it was the Buddha that said, wherever you go, there you are. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be dancing with baby angels the whole time. Lauren's made $100 since getting on the line.
I'm going to cancel the show, guys. Everyone's just trading and making money, and I'm just.
Well done, Lauren. That's awesome. Julie, you are becoming a crypto beast, a crypto maniac. She's also in on ENJ. Well done, Julie. I don't know what your experience was before. Maybe you can share with the group. But if this is something
Julie's been amazing, but I want to give a shout out to Julie as well. Actually, sorry, I interrupted you, mate.
It's okay. It's becoming a habit tonight. You can have it.
No,
it's fine.
but I do say sorry when I do it. That's me sometimes just speaking out. I think, oh, actually, I just stopped him talking. That's not right.
We both do that a lot, and self-control is something that, especially in trading, is going to be. But yeah, Julie, I don't know what your experience is, but if you're new to the crypto program, and I've never spoke or interacted with you in the group before, maybe you were there for a while. I know I'm talking about previous to the last 6 weeks or so when I started seeing you in things that we were doing. It'd be interesting to see what your experience level is, because you're doing really well. And obviously it's just about building it. And, it doesn't mean anything if you stop doing it or you get overconfident and whatever, but you're in a great position. And one thing I would say is when Julie, she went through the majority of the course, I'd gone through a lot and I put my mind through a lot. So I know what she's done. And I said to her in the group, I said, you've put yourself in a really great position where you've gone through the content. You're going to go back through it, ready for the first live trading session that we did last Saturday afternoon together, finding trades. And she's proving that point. That success does leave clues for sure. And well done. Just want to give a shout out to you. And also I want to give a shout out on another way. This might not be the most glamorous topic, but Ewan, I definitely need to step out of my comfort zone and be more active and vocal in the group. That also deserves a pat on the back, because you're acknowledging something about yourself. This is resonating with you, which is obviously great, and that's our intention. But it's great that you're understanding that about yourself. So it's up to you now. It's up to you to hold yourself accountable and to take that action, mate. So it's a great first start. So look, with that note, okay, just want to close that one off. I'm new to trading and crypto beginner, very fresh. That can also work as well. Sometimes you don't need to have experience, because if you've got someone who, look, Andy knows what he's doing. I think we all know that. And yes, we do sell programs.
That's the thing you said about me tonight, mate.
Nicest thing I said about you tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't say it all the time. He clearly knows what he's doing. His fashion sense and his dancing ability, very debatable.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
However, and this isn't going to turn into a sales pitch or anything like that. We'll give you opportunities to find out more information. But whoever it is that you go with, know that they're a master if you're learning. And obviously, yeah, she's new to trading and new to cryptos. That's fantastic. So you haven't had any bad habits. That's great. And you're taking action, which is awesome. So great shout. We all were, Sab. I've just been trying to hide it.
Mate, I'm offended. How could you forget about our show?
Oh, man. I almost took a sickie. Don't worry about it, Sab. I completely...
And I was actually mentioning you as well, mate. And Gavin goes, oh, you must be asleep. I said, no way, Sab's asleep, mate. He's trading. Sab does not sleep. So, on a serious note, we drop messages sometimes at 3-4 in the morning. Both of us are awake.
Demetrius is tuned in on YouTube.
Oh, he's gone on YouTube today, Demetrius.
Boom.
That's it. He's just
Awesome.
He's comfortable with change. I think he's just switched straight away after we're talking about being uncomfortable. He's
Yeah,
like, I'm going on YouTube right now.
Why not? I remember when I would go to these personal development things and they would like, you got comfy in your seat and then you go out for a break and they're like, right, we've moved your stuff. You're sitting there. I'm like, what? Or you have to, have you ever been there where they move, where you have to change where you sit? You have to get used to the change. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah, I like this person. I've just got to talk to him. Why are you going to make him move?
Exactly.
I used to
And
think
then you realize that person's actually just said, this guy's really weird. Can you make him move, please?
Well, Stab says he's up nearly $1,800 on his crypto.
Yeah, but we need some context behind that. If you started with 100K or you started with 500, like monetary terms, it's
what did you start with, Sab?
With a percentage.
I think it was 10K he started with, I believe, or maybe less, or more. I don't know.
So, but great, well done. That's really, really good. That's really well done, and we keep building that momentum. And when you hear the context of how we got to that point, you'll hear that in the show and why we're talking about that. So, Andy, so we had a vote in the group, a solitary vote, may I add, but Aussie versus US dollar, as we always do. We end the show with Pips Like a Pro, your professional trade setup of the week. Last week it worked really well when we put you on the spot and you just went through it. And I think that's great from now on. Or not from now on. We might want to change it up again, right? But I think it works very well because even if you don't take the trade, it helps people to know what to get in and what to look for. So I'm just finding a picture of Hunky Man. There we go. Pips Like a Pro trade setup of the week. Boom.
Yeah, awesome. Right,
Take it away, boo-boo.
Sab says it was 10K started with, by the way. That's good, man. 18% in a week. Absolutely crazy. It just gives me so much pleasure when I see these results. Like, I can't tell you. Right. Let's have a look at this Australian dollar, US dollar, and see what's going on. So I've got this is the thing as well. All of this work that you do once, you still have, and things don't really change a lot on the higher time frames, which makes it quite easy to then go and find opportunities. So having done this work, I'll just kind of share with you here what we have. So let me zoom out. Okay. So the first thing is, let me grab my pen. We've got, what I'm trying to identify on the higher time frames is essentially where the tipping point is, where the market is likely to go next. And what we can kind of see is that this is kind of like the ultimate high point for this market right now, right? I don't know if you guys can see that, but can you see that when you see like a big empty space, it means that we haven't gone into this zone for quite a long time. It means that the market at the moment is basically holding within this boundary. So when was that? So a question we want to ask ourselves is, well, when was the last time we were above this high? Okay. And we can see that last time we were above this high was basically 2014. And we're now 2021. So for 7 years, we have not been above this high. And that's kind of by design. So that's not to say we couldn't go above it. We could. However, as traders, we are going to just look at probabilities and say, well, let's assume for now that we're staying above this high point. And so that kind of makes it easier because we have this channel, we have this high point, and then we have this this bearish candle formation here. And then what the market is doing is it's basically, if I zoom in, it's basically testing this candle formation. And so one of the things that I always say is find out where the 618 is of this test. So we'll put our fibs in and have a look to see where the 61.8 is. So oh wow, that's awesome. Love that. So 61.8 is there, right? Which is 78.59. What I love about that is, can you see it's actually bringing us in to the channel that I've got there. Okay, so I'm looking at this for the first time. I haven't looked at this for a long time.
And as I said in the video, it's because he's got a blueprint. He's got a formula, which is why he keeps doing the same thing over and over again. And obviously it's a little bit of skill as well. So just to add that caveat in for the new people that are watching.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we've got 78.59 is a zone. Okay, so it's a zone that I'm going to be interested in. So there, or slightly below, slightly above. I want to kind of go to the lower time frame now and just find out what 78.59 is as a potential opportunity. So let's go and see what's going on the daily. So that's great. Okay, that's great, because we have got a fade zone. So that's perfect. So we have basically a fade zone is we have an A, a B. The market has not gone back to our minimum expected level, which is here. And look at what a strong level that is, guys. So it's most likely at some point going to come back to this level here. So 78.59, let me have a look to see where that is. Okay, that's great. That's just like a little spike. So that's fine. There's nothing really else to see. I'll just kind of stick a line in just to see where that is. 78. Yeah, that's perfect. So that's just like a little spike higher, potentially. Okay, let's go to the 4-hour chart and see if there's anything here that I want to make a note of. Okay, so I will do the fibs. Let's do the fibs and see where that comes in. See if there's any confluence there. So I will be wary of the 200. So we've got a 78.31 potentially, or we create another fib here. Let me see what that looks like. Okay, so it's a little bit early to know. So that's not kind of lining up just yet. We may need another swing, depending on where. I mean, that looks like quite powerful here, guys. So I don't think we're going to create a D here. I think we'll create a D a little bit higher, and then there could be a potential one up there. The other thing that I would do here is I would look for like a kind of rough angle that the market is liking, and just doing it rough for now, but I would normally spend a little bit of time on this. So I would put something like that there and then stick an alert in. So most likely you're going to kind of get something like this, push up, something like that, and then we could sell it probably with, let me see what this, that looks like a decent level there. Let me go over here. So yeah, that looks like a nice little zone there. So yeah, we're just a little bit ahead. Let me see if there's anything else I can do here. 1 second, guys. We can actually project the channel as well. So you may get resistance there. That looks like a decent. Yeah, that looks quite nice there as well, actually. Yeah, I kind of prefer that actually. Like you've got a bit of a level here, there as well. So this kind of looks like a nice little zone. And then it takes us, remember that the weekly thing is just a rough prediction, but something like that, and that kind of becomes a sell zone. So anywhere here, I think represents a nice sell zone. So that, I'll tell you the levels, guys. So between 78.52 and 78.92, I think that could be a pretty nice reversal. We could also put the down fibs on as well. Let me check. Oh, that's brilliant. You got a 618 there as well. Yeah, that looks nice. And then obviously add the DTR guys in for tomorrow if you want to try and catch it at the top of the DTR. There's no point me adding that now because it's not going to make too much sense. But can you guys see as well, like you've got the 618 there. The 50 is here, the 38 is there, but that's, yeah, this little zone there looks great. Anywhere there, I think represents a decent selling opportunity tomorrow or Monday. And then you can kind of, you could target, if you want to do this as a swing trade, I'll tell you what you do. You put your stop above the A there, and then you target this or the 200. So the 1618 comes in at 74.96. Let's go back over to the daily chart. Oh, that's perfect. 74.96, guys, is there. It's basically taking you right into that strong level of resistance on the daily. So I would be looking for this. I'll map it out for you. So I think we do this. Obviously, this, and then up. So money-making opportunities are here and here because that matches the daily levels as well. And that's kind of it. I mean, you can go to the hourly chart, but at this stage, I wouldn't. That's more than enough.
You haven't finished until you do that. Mic dropped officially.
Yeah, mic dropped.
You know, the hot things, cryptos, but there are opportunities in FX. It's been established a lot more. There's a lot more people offering funding around FX. And I think it was Bashgar who's watching live on YouTube. Hi to everybody watching on YouTube or in the Facebook group. Join our Facebook group, by the way, the Crypto and FX Traders Club. It's free, but it's a private group. If you want to see more posts like that from our students and obviously Andy as well, then you'll get all that good stuff inside the group. But Bashgar said that he wants to learn to become a funded trader. That's the level you're going to need to get to, because even if, you know, I've spoken to people that have got funding, they did it kind of more luck than judgment. And now they're stressing out because they've got money and they can see that they can change their lives, but they haven't got anything that a professional trader can do. So yeah, you want to be a funded trader. We'll put the link. I'll put the link in the description for this or in the comment section. Go and watch a webinar training that we've done. It's quite long, but that's because Andy gave up a lot of his time to share what he learned from his hedge fund days. I think that will blow your mind. And then you can make a decision whether you want to pursue anything with us or not. Also on the funding side of things, in the next couple of months, maybe we're going to have some more exciting news on that, aren't we? So watch that.
Yeah, we're trying to develop that a lot more to help people out and provide more capital for people. Absolutely. And can I just say one more thing as well? It's like what I'm seeing from people, and this is why I keep telling people to post. I know we've gone a little bit over time, but is that I'm seeing people have the ability to do that, like, which is amazing for me to see. and very rewarding for me to see. Like, I'm seeing people within our group that are able to post analysis. I've seen you, obviously, but I was coaching you, but like, our students actually able to start finding high probability trades like that, and then they're using their angles and they're finding, and they've got like real clarity in what they're like. When this and this and this and this happens, I'm in the trade. And it's like, wow, they don't even realize how far away they are from most of the punters that are trying to trade. You can go into other groups and see what people are posting. It's like, like sometimes we get the odd person, right, that joins this group and says, "Oh, buy the Aussie dollar because it's going," and then a student will jump in. "Oh, can you please break down why?" He said, "Oh, because I think it's going up." No, it's like chalk and cheese. So I don't know if I'm making any sense. Gaven.
No, it does make sense. And the thing is, you map
you're not responding.
you map all of this out. Now, by all means, if you're new, when this replay comes out very shortly, rewatch this section. Try and understand. Try and teach yourself how to do it. You probably can, but there's opportunities to make money a lot of the time. And when Andy first told me that, I was like, "Wow, is there really?" And there really is. If you want to learn how to do this faster, then obviously you're going to pay for that. That's, we put our hands up and say that Andy can break down and show you everything over his time. That's the fast way to do it. Or you can try and learn it yourself, and it's completely up to you. Whichever way is in front of you, that's for you. We're just going to give you the options on that. So I think we're done for another week. Another Thursday night in the bag, mate. So anything you want to say before we bounce?
No, mate, it's been great. I think, I think I just want to keep telling people, reminding people, just get out of your comfort zone, and be consistent. Be consistent in what you do. Just like we've been consistent in doing this show for you and delivering for you. We want the same from you, because that's what gets results. And when you have a commitment and you're consistent and you keep working on those habits and you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, as you're finding in the group, anyone who's in the group means they're on your level, you will be successful. There's no doubt, but you have to take action. You can't sit on the sidelines and hope that it's going to happen. And don't think that you're not good enough. Don't think that you're not smart enough, and don't kind of fall victim to your limiting beliefs. Take action, get uncomfortable, and start living your greatest life. That's my message for you for today. And arrivederci.
Great message, my friend. Let's leave on that. Passeranno, ciao, ciao.